As we continue to mark Black History Month, Connecting Point correspondent Carolee McGrath sat down with LuJuana Hood, Executive Director of the Pan-African Historical Museum of the USA in Springfield. They discussed the historical impact of Africa's contributions to the world, the rich history that exists right here in Western Massachusetts, and some of the fascinating mythology that's so much a part of African culture.
PAMUSA was established in 1995, and our mission is to educate the public about the great contributions of Africa that it gave to human civilization, to educate them about African American culture and people of African descent. It's important that our audience understand that African American history does not begin with slavery. It begins with empires: Ghana, Mali, Songhai, Egypt. Slavery is but a dark chapter in our glorious history book. But African Americans, even though they were bound, they still achieved, they still contributed to this great country. And this is important that the young people understand that they are a part of this great America.
So tell us about some of the artifacts and some of the exhibits that you have there that would speak to that.
Well, we have wonderful artifacts. We have one beautiful chihuahua. The chihuahua is it's in the shape of an antelope, and it's very artistically done. It's from the Bambara people. And the legend says that a great antelope came from the heavens and taught the farmers how to till the ground. We have beautiful terracotta incense burners that came from Senegal. We have the most gorgeous Adinkra cloth, and that was given to us on loan by Dr. Ruth Njiri. They're over 50 years old, and she was Jomo Kenyatta's personal secretary while she was in Kenya. She lived there, and now she lives here. We have slave chains from South Carolina.
Do you really?
Yes, and that's from Mr. Willie Bullock's collection. And we have a KKK uniform from Mr. Bullock's collection. Now, Mr. Bullock's is African American, mind you.
Wow. So when kids go there, I know that there's also an interactive tour that you do on the Underground Railroad. Tell us a little bit about that, and I'm sure they must really see history coming alive when they take part.
Well, with the Underground Railroad, the first thing we do, we start you off with breakfast. So you might get some delicious salmon croquettes, a nice country breakfast, some grits, you know, tea, coffee, or we might do a wonderful Charleston breakfast casserole. And then we start with, after breakfast is over about 10:30, and then we go in to see a film about Sojourner Truth, very short film, because Sojourner Truth started here before she went to Northampton. It was Springfield residents that introduced her to Northampton.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And then at 11 o'clock, we're out on the route where you'll meet costume characters, you'll meet the freedom seekers, and you will also meet the prominent African Americans here. Most people don't know that W.E.B. Du Bois's grandfather, Alexander, lived in this city.
Tell me, you have to explain for our audience who that is.
W.E.B. Du Bois is one of our great intellects, and he wrote The Souls of Black People. He was a genius, and his grandfather lived here. Also, we do a wedding.
Really?
Yeah. Jenny Williams, the first African-American woman to be married in Old First Church. Sometimes we have costume characters play her, and sometimes we actually pull people from the audience to do it.
Are people surprised when they hear how involved Western Mass was during this time with the Underground Railroad?
Yes, they are. Because everybody thinks Boston.
Right.
They never think Springfield. They never think Wilbraham. They never think Chicopee. They're very surprised.
How do you think students react, or how do you think this helps students, I should say, to see all of the incredible history that we have right here in Western Mass? Because a lot of times people think you have to leave Western Mass, you have to go to the bigger cities, you know, to find something really, really interesting, but we have it right here.
Well, the feedback that we get from the students is really great. They're like, I didn't know that.
Right.
You know, and we spend a lot of time teaching and trying to get them to understand, because slavery is very complex. There's just no one set way to teach it.
Right.
So we spend a lot of time with them, and we do art projects with them. We just had South End Middle School, and what we did with them is Loretta, who's our arts and craft director, actually did the mapping of Lindsay Smith, who ran away and came to Springfield. So they actually followed his route. We made the maps for them,
wow.
and they had to put the legends on and actually follow the route. He ended up in Wilbraham, going to Wilbraham Academy, became a preacher. So, and we give them a wonderful black-eyed peas stew, so they understand that black-eyed peas came in from Africa, and we talk about the history of it and the food ways. So they, for the most part, I think they enjoy it.
You have something on your website, and I'd like you to explain it, that it says you believe in the power of Sankofa. Am I pronouncing that correctly? What does that mean?
Sankofa in the Akan language literally means go back and fetch it. The Sankofa in Adinkra symbolism, Sankofa is a mythological bird. His feet are planted forward. His head and his neck are turned backward. And on his back there is, some people call it an egg, some people call it a gem, but it represents wisdom. So what they're saying is, go back and get the wisdom that you forgot. Go back and look at the past. See the good, see the bad, correct it, move forward. And also the wisdom that you go back to get must be given to future generations so they will press forward. There's one proverb that says, it is not taboo to go back and fetch that which you have forgotten.
February vacation is coming up. I'm sure a lot of parents are going to be looking for things to do with their kids. Tell me the hours of the museum.
Well, the museum opens to the public Tuesday through Friday, 12 to 4. On February 19th, we're having our annual cooking show. This year, we're saluting Abby Fisher. Abby Fisher was an enslaved African-American woman, and she's the second African-American woman to write a cookbook during the 1800s. Melinda Russell was before her, and Robert Roberts was before her. So we will be saluting her, and Louis Morales is a chef, and she's a dynamite cook, so it's free to the public. We're asking everybody that wants to come, please come. Also, we'll have a little mini film festival on Saturdays for the students to come down and see.
Excellent. Thank you so much, LuJuana Hood, for coming on and sharing all of this with us. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for having me.